Greetings, dearly beloved, and welcome to another edition of Musings from a Tarot Reader, a little vlog post, a little word vomit from yours truly regarding the sacred art form of tarot divination. If this is something that interests you, welcome. My name is Trey. This channel is Experiential Energy Anatomy, and I'm feeling very inspired and called, really, by my spirit guides to share this message with y'all today out there on YouTube and the Interverse regarding the tarot and why the tarot is, again, something that is sacred. So, to begin this blog post, let's pose that question. What does sacred mean to you, dear viewer? What does that word actually mean? And are the majority of tarot readers out there on YouTube actually approaching the tarot with that reverence, with that observation, with that sacredness? It's a question to ponder, a little bit of brain candy for y'all. I'm not here to give y'all answers. What my intention is with this video is to share some of my personal thoughts, opinions, and perceptions regarding what they call that good old black magic. Yes, girl. So we're going to spill all the tea today. I hope you have a beverage of your choice. That good old black magic. As Miss Nina Simone would say, black magic. So if you go on YouTube, there is, in the post-COVID world, just a sea of people who are reading the cards. And first things first, everyone has a right to read. Every single human has a right to go out and buy a deck of cards and start their journey, a greater self-awareness, the Fool's Journey, as it is summarized in the 22 major arcana, to greater awareness of the capital S self. I am not proposing that only certain people should be allowed to read. But what I find very perplexing is that if you go on YouTube, right, and you are just sifting through the thousands and thousands and thousands of tarot readings, there are a lot of tarot readings out there that, in the titles, are warning against black magic. And I find this perplexing because, having watched many of those readings and having tuned in to a lot of readers throughout my journey of discovering the tarot, what I have come to determine is that when a tarot reader is giving off fear frequency, i.e. they are sharing certain messages within their reading that someone around you is practicing black magic but are giving no methods to or verifications to somehow ground that information. What is ironic is that the only person in that situation practicing black magic is the reader themselves. So with that being prefaced, again, in my humble opinion, so many readers on YouTube are reading the cards, but they are not practicing the sacred art form of divination. And we're really going to dive deep into the context of divination, of oracles within ancient cultures, and why they were highly ritualistic, and why, again, that there is this air of sacredness surrounding divination. So, again, let's dive deep. I know y'all came here for the deep dive. So, what are the red flags? Because I've had a few clients, some dear inquirers, who have expressed this concern with me. Hey, I have been feeling like some tarot readings are not resonating with me, i.e. They're making false promises, giving false hope. How can I better have discernment when navigating the sea of tarot readers who, frankly, in my humble opinion, are abusing the sacred knowledge in order to play the algorithm game of YouTube, in order to get enough likes and subscribes in order to pay their bills. And, you know, so there's a lot of red flags that I have come to observe. And again, my intention is to not criticize other individuals. My intention is to help those dear inquirers out there who have expressed this desire to develop greater discernment. Because first things first, number one, okay, so many tarot readers out there are not grounding or triangulating the information, the messages that they are spewing out with information coming from other sources, such as the sister sciences of tarot, astrology, numerology, or even the Kabbalah. So, you know, if you look on some tarot readers' description boxes, they will put a legal disclaimer saying that, you know, this reading is for information purposes. You know, please don't take any predictions here that seriously. And that is because the very act of verification, it implies that we're in the realm of possibilities and probabilities. Really pay attention to the language. If someone is making a statement in which your person is coming back in April, that is a claim. That how can you verify that information? You know, how can you verify that claim? Well, in logic, the act of triangulation, this is not related triangulation in the context of narcissism. Triangulation is a process of verification in which you take a claim, right? Your person is coming back to you, okay? And then you see, okay, well, what is this source saying? I.e. like astrology. Or what is this other source saying? I.e. numerology. And if there is resonance, then you can make a more probable claim, or you can say this is possible, this may happen, this could happen. But when anytime a reader is making 100% claims, right? No one truly knows what's going to happen in the future. And really, your fate, it's an interactive process, the unfolding of your fate. Ultimately, you have free will in your story. Ultimately, you have the willpower to determine your fate. A good reader, someone who is, again, practicing true divination, will always tell you there are only probabilities or possibilities with any outcomes. Okay? So that is why you as the viewer, number one, discernment is so important. It is so key when you are applying information from any tarot reading into your life, into your story. And it's just something that I find absolutely silly. You know, when people are giving readings for a specific sign, i.e., you know, Aquarius, okay, how can you expect any claims or predictions that they are making to be in any way, shape, or form going to manifest if that person has no knowledge of the astrological phenomena affecting Aquarius energy within the time frame of their query? So many people do not have discernment, and it's not their fault because, frankly, the Western education system stamps out discernment. But if anyone, again, is giving a specific reading for any specific sign, and they have no knowledge of the astrology, how can you expect that information to be verifiable? How can you expect that information to be accurate? It's just a question to propose to the collective. Now, this leads me into number two. Another big red flag for me is when a reader is only reading for one sign, probably only because they only know their sun sign. And it's not saying that that information isn't accurate. There are a few one sign readers that I tune into because they're highly intuitive and I resonate with their messages. I'm not going to make a blanket statement, but the majority of readers who are only reading for one sign, that is a huge red flag to me because that probably tells you they, again, have no knowledge of their birth chart or they have no idea what their moon rising sign is to begin with. And again, it's just a very particular level of awareness in which someone is reading the tarot. And astrology, again, and tarot are so interconnected. Okay, they are really sister sciences, in my humble opinion. And therefore, number two, it's a big red flag for me when a reader's only reading for one sign, again, their sun sign. And why is that? Well, because that becomes really easy for them to project, okay, their level of understanding, again, which is a very beginner's level, in my humble opinion, onto the cards. And if you are reading for other signs, what it does as a reader is it helps you come out of your own ego. It helps you to, again, understand that there is so much depth, okay, between the relationship of astrology, the zodiac, and the tarot. Okay, so that is my second big red flag. Now, number three, the third red flag that I think is really, to me, belittling to the reader themselves are what I call thirst trap thumbnails. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So if you are going through you're scrolling through the feed, right? There are so many tarot readings. Tarot readers, in order to get attention, are getting dolled up to the nines, right? Taurus, April, love reading. And it's just such a clear energy grab for your attention. And to me, it is unnecessary if you, again, are practicing true divination. Your physical appearance is irrelevant to being a true channel of the divine, okay? And if you are truly a talented reader, if you are truly someone, again, who is concerned with practicing the sacred art form of divination, your physical appearance, again, should be irrelevant. Because to me, it just screams, again, a black magic of some, they say, use what you got. Sex sells. And that is true in the pitiful excuse of civilization that we currently live in which, the sacredness of sex is being prostituted every day by capitalism in order to make money, honey. So, again, when I see these thirst trap thumbnails, I'm not here to judge people. Everyone lives in the matrix. Okay, unless you are living in an uncontacted tribe in Timbuktu, we all have bills to pay. I understand that. But again, those readers, okay, with the thirst trap thumbnails, they are playing into the illusion of competition. They're playing into the illusion of separation. They are playing into the game of the algorithm. And their intention to me clearly is to get what? Attention, likes, and subscribes. And that intention, in my humble opinion, taints any information that could potentially be coming through their readings that could be of value to you, dear inquirer. And we will get more into this in number 6. But let's move on. So again, number 3, watch out for them thirst trap thumbnails, people. Why? Because it's a trap. Number 4, the fourth red flag, I feel, are, again, misleading titles. Like, your person is coming back, or what your person truly feels for you, especially if it's a general reading. Okay, so this is a really tough lesson when it comes to developing discernment in this world with people. Okay, discernment is a lesson of the swords in the tarot, and that's a painful, often, in the words of Alanis Morissette, it's like swallowing a jagged little pill, you know? And so many readings, I feel like, are, again, in order to get likes, subscribes, pay their bills, are telling people what they want to hear and feeding your egos versus the actual objective information. This comes down to don't shoot the messenger, and so many readers are afraid to be shot. So these misleading titles, right? Like your person is coming back. Again, that is setting up the viewer to project their personal situation with their person onto a general message or a general reading that has nothing to do with any specific person. It's giving that person false hope, and it's cruel. It's cruel. And that is why you see on some tarot readers' channels in every reading they have a disclaimer. And I just feel like, if you're practicing divination, truly, there's no need to put a disclaimer, in my humble opinion. And, some people, out there may say, well, it's just for entertainment purposes. It's not that serious, and obviously in order to get someone's attention in today's narcissistic social media online matrix, you have to make it about them. You have to personalize it. So what's wrong with a personalized title? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is basically from the jump of the reading, it is setting a certain framework or groundwork for the person to project their hopes, their desires, their wish for their person to come back, right? Or what their person is feeling or thinking about them. And then they just swallow, they're being spoon-fed all these toxic positive messages that really, again, could have nothing to do with what their person is actually feeling, thinking, or doing in what we call reality. Okay? And in my humble opinion, this is, again, where discernment is so key. Don't just pay attention to the messages that a reader is telling you. If a reader is just giving you only their messages and not even putting any attention on the card itself or giving you any information about the card itself, this is a huge red flag for me as well. Okay? Because anyone who is practicing divination truly is going to tell you this is the card, okay? You should maybe look up the deeper meanings of this card in your own time. But this is the energy I'm feeling. Like, this is like the weather forecast for this energy that I'm feeling from this combination of cards. So, that is what I basically, in a nutshell, have to say about projection in relationship to the fourth red flag. And again, it's sometimes we really, when people are lonely, when people are sad, okay, and people are in separation, logic is often thrown completely out the window. Why? Because people are desperate for good news. But again, the tarot teaches you that really good and bad is something that we, again, project onto the cards. Okay, the information, energy is energy. The information is objective. You will perceive of it as positive or negative. That's on the viewer. But logic, really, discernment is the gateway to higher levels of consciousness, to understanding sacred geometry, to understanding the convoluted universe. So again, in the New Age spiritual community, I think number 4, again, it's really easy to be misled by people who are abusing the sacred arts. Okay? Why? To make money, honey. Okay? And that is why we cannot continue to throw logic out the window and just, again, without discernment, okay, swallow, okay, whatever message, whatever interpretation a reader gives you without thinking, okay, how does this apply to my actual situation, my story? What actually manifested in my story? How are the energies that the physical tarot cards themselves actually manifesting via my filters, in my experience? Okay, because no other person can ultimately give me those answers. Only I can by observation of what is manifesting around me. So again, if your person doesn't come back to you, you cannot blame the reader for not having discernment, because that clearly wasn't meant to happen in your story. Now, let's move on. Excuse me. If you're still with us, thank you so much. Okay, if you're enjoying this or you feel like I have missed any important point, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Now, number 5. I feel like it's also a huge red flag when a reader clearly has no knowledge of archetypes or archetypal energies in relationship to the psychology of the tarot. So there are people who study the tarot as an academic pursuit. People like Carl Jung, who was one of the founding fathers of archetypal psychology, was very interested in the tarot. Kabbalists who study the Tree of Life have also intimately studied the tarot because there's so much resonance between Kabbalah and the tarot. Okay, there are people who have devoted their entire professional careers, again, to studying the depths of the tarot. Why? Because the physical cards themselves, again, represent archetypal or subconscious energies. So an archetype, what is an archetype? Okay, an archetype is a collective or universal energy of the subconscious mind, of the collective mind, that exists across time and space, across cultures, okay, in the hearts and minds and psyches of all people, whether you have awareness of them or not. These energies exist, okay? And the 2 most basic archetypes that all people can relate to are the Great Mother archetype and the Great Father archetype, as represented by the Empress and the Emperor card in the tarot, okay? So there is an aspect, okay, of these archetypes that are represented by your physical earth parents, okay? And then there's also an aspect of these archetypes within yourself, within your own psyche. That means every single person has a mother figure within themselves and a father figure or an inner father, an inner mother within themselves, okay? And we can tap into these archetypes and these energies and express them in our soul journey, in our lives, at any point, at any given time. So again, the 22 major arcana represent the 22 pathways within the Tree of Life, okay? These are perhaps arguably the most important archetypes, but there's a lot of different archetypes out there if you study archetypal psychology, okay? So why is this important when it comes to YouTube readers? Well, it is clear as day if you are just, tuning in to a majority of readers on YouTube that they have zero knowledge of archetypes. Okay? Like, for example, this card means your boo has a baby mama on the side, right? This card means that he's cheating. This card is for sure saying that he ain't gonna pay your child support. Like, that may be true in that context, and that reader's reality in which they are projecting onto the cards, because all levels are true. However, there are so many more levels to the cards that can have nothing to do with toxic heteronormative codependency relationship dynamics. So, those type of readers, to me, that's a huge red flag. Which leads me into number 6. I also feel that so many readers on YouTube also have very low levels of awareness regarding energetic fields. So, this leads me back again to oracles. In ancient cultures who practice divination, in which this sacred art form, this sacred knowledge comes from. Okay, when you went to an oracle to ask a query, okay, it was a highly ritualistic process. It wasn't just something that was done lightly. When people are like, why so serious? Well, again, if you're practicing divination, in order to establish the energetic field necessary to tune in to the higher frequencies of energy, in order to ground down and translate that information into the human word. Okay, when you went to an oracle in ancient culture, to the temple, it was highly ritualistic, okay? And the ritual was very important. That is why in my readings, in every single reading, okay, I light incense, I play the bowls, right? It's a ritual. And also there was a lot of sacred sounds, instruments in the temples that again establish the energetic field necessary to propose the query. So when I see readers who, for example, are reading in front of their microwave, sorry, I am not sorry, but give me a break. Like, you see people like reading in their kitchen in front of a microwave. Like, that person clearly has no awareness of energetic fields. So again, how can you expect as the viewer with discernment that any of the information they are giving you is going to be accurate or verifiable? It's probably a projection of their own ego onto the cards. Like, getting nuked as they read the cards. Like, and I don't intend to come off as judgmental. I don't intend to come off as facetious. I'm truly intending to raise awareness about what the fuck divination actually is. Because so many people who are again readers, in my humble opinion, who have no knowledge of energetic fields are unconsciously practicing black magic. Because when you as a viewer are tuning into any reading, you are making either an unconscious or a conscious choice to fuck with that reader's energetic field, to imbibe your energetic field, to attune your field to theirs. So if they're talking about everyone's cheating all the time, if they're repeating certain messages, right, whether or not you perceive them as good or bad, what have you, just don't be surprised if things start to manifest in your life, right, that are in resonance with everything that they said. Again, so if someone is saying someone's practicing black magic on you, you better be scared. You better go crack an egg down by the railroad. Don't be surprised then if that manifests in your story. Again, because you are maybe unconsciously attuning to that person's very low vibe field. Whew. Now this leads me finally to number 7, the final red flag. I feel it's a really, really big red flag as well when readings have no set spread, no set structure, nor a clear time frame in their query. You know, some readers aren't even proposing a clear query with a clear time frame. So again, how can you expect that information to be accurate or verifiable? Okay? And arguably, you know, queries, I always say in the beginning of my need to know readings, arguably, your query should not be a yes or no question. It should be a question of who, what, how, when, why, etc. Because really, the cards are not there to answer yes or no questions. If you want to answer a yes or no question, go get a pendulum. You know, go get one of those. You know, and program your pendulum to a yes or no response. That is how you ask a yes or no question, in my humble opinion. But with the cards do not answer in definitive yes or no, in my humble opinion. This is, again, arguable. Okay, I'm always open to hearing people's opinions. But, again, it's just a huge red flag for me because, you know, there are so many different spreads out there. Like, for example, I just did a personal reading and I did the High Priestess's Secret spread. And the structure of the spread, it helps create the meaning. It helps the energies to, again, express to the inquirer, okay, in some way, information that's actually going to be usable. So if someone is just, you know, without any structure, without any spread, just pulling cards and telling you information, okay, again, discernment. Please have discernment, dear viewer, because that person could be telling you anything. Literally anything, okay? And yes, there is space within readings to be intuitive. There's space within readings to give channeled messages. I am a channel myself. I've been a channel since I was a child. I am not denying that within any reading. Again, I just think it's important, okay, to have balance when it comes to tarot readings between logic, okay, and intuition, intuitive channel messages. Okay, if we can merge the two, that's really the mystical marriage. That's the union of opposites. So, I guess that is my my final message, you know, regarding why I feel it is so important to share these red flags with the introverts, with the collective, in regards to the tarot, because it is for some people just entertainment. It is for some people, you know, just a way to turn off their minds. I get that. It's a way to get some type of, I guess, feeling or energy that you're not alone. It's also, I guess, for some people, like people tune into a tarot reading to feel better about what's going on in their life. It's kind of like a motivational speaker. And I understand that. That's perfectly fine. You know, we're all humans. We all go through challenges. We all want to be told good things are going to happen to us. But again, there's so much depth to the tarot. Okay? The tarot represents the subconscious mind, the realm of images, ideas, imagination, dreams, symbols, glyphs, and it is a mandala or a map for self-growth, for self-empowerment, personal development, okay? And at the end of the day, okay, you cannot rely on any other human in order to understand your story, your fate, your soul's reason for incarnating on this planet. That's on you, okay? And that is why discernment is so important. And I highly encourage, again, if you are interested in the tarot, go out and get your own deck of cards. Start that journey today, because the way you should be watching a reading, again, in my humble opinion, as a reader, like when I am tuning into other readers, and I do have many readers that I tune into, I am not recording this blog post in order to subliminally tell people, only watch my readings, only choose one reader. No. Okay? It is important to get an idea of the landscape out there and how other people are tuning into the energies and perceiving them. But the readers that I tune into, okay, I always find it interesting when in the readings I do for myself, I'm always looking out for those same cards. I'm like, oh wow, okay, the Emperor popped out too in my reading this morning. How interesting. This reader just pulled that card. Let's see what they have to say. How do they interpret this energy? Okay? And you should always, again, if you feel a resonance with any particular card, any message in a reading, in your own time, look up the deeper levels of meaning to that card, to that energy, in order to create the space in your story for that energy then to manifest and do its work. And really, the tarot is an interactive map. Okay, the tarot is something that is meant to be experienced, right? You cannot really tell someone, right, how to experience these energies. All I can do as the reader is hopefully plant a seed within your consciousness that makes you curious enough, right, to observe your conscious reality. What is manifesting around you in your spiritual environment. And again, the cards, they are the roadmap, right, that gives us some structure, right, to have some type of limited understanding of why we are here on this planet as humans. What is the bigger point of it all? And so it is kind of a big deal. It is kind of serious, in my humble opinion, because the tarot is touching on the deepest questions that have perplexed humanity. Okay, why are we here? Okay, what is the soul? Okay, what is my soul contract? They're very big questions, and I think those questions are way more important than, what is my person feeling about me? What is my person thinking about me? When is my person returning to me? Those questions, those existential questions, I feel are way more important. And that is what the tarot is all about. The Fool's Journey is all about how those 22 arcana are being embodied and manifested by different characters in the play of your life. Okay? And if you really are someone who is, again, curious to know about why tarot is a sacred form of divination, it's because they are talking to us about the mysteries at the end of the day. And a mystery is called a mystery for a reason. Again, why? Because no one truly knows. We can theorize, we can word vomit about it, we can discuss it. It's brain candy. It's fun to discuss. But again, at the end of the day, no one person can claim 100% true knowing of anything when it comes to the mysteries. And that is how I will end this Musings from a Tarot Reader blog post, 40 minutes deep. Again, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it is helpful. Again, if you feel that I missed any important red flags, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'm also always willing to listen to high vibe engagement. So please let me know your personal thoughts, opinions, and perceptions regarding this blog post today, and if you would like to see more content like this in the future. And with all that being offered to the Interverse, I truly, again, just want to stress, every single person has the right to read. Every single person has the right to explore their consciousness. Okay? So, with that being said, I am sending you a high vibe day. Toodaloo.